Hello, I hope you're all doing well. Hope you've had a good week. If you're new here, my name's Rachel and I talk about low income living, solo living and just day-to-day life really as a nearly 60-year-old. And if you've watched me before, thank you for coming back. I really appreciate the support. Like and subscribe, all the usual YouTube stuff. Anyway, today I thought I'd come on and talk about what I've been doing in the last week to try and improve my financial situation. If you've been here before, you know that I'm not working at my cleaning job anymore because I'm off with a knee injury. I have had my MRI scan. I had it on Saturday night, which seemed very strange, but there was loads of people in there having MRI scans. So I've had that. Now I just got to wait for my results and an appointment with a consultant to see what steps are next for treatment. So the first thing I did was, because my bill for my electricity and my gas was going up at the beginning of September, and also Ofgem were putting up the price cap at the beginning of October so that your unit rate per kilowatt hour or whatever these things are measured in is increasing, which is lovely of them because obviously we're going into winter now, autumn and winter, and we're going to have to put the heating on soon and probably the lights will be on more because it will get darker earlier. So we're going to be using more energy and that will be at a higher price. Thank you very much. What a lovely bonus. So due to those two things, I decided that I would go on to my energy provider, which is Octopus. I have dual fuel account with them, so my gas and my electricity. And I looked at the various options of tariffs I could have. And I've changed from the one I was on to a fixed rate for 12 months. So at least now I know how much I'm going to be paying every month for 12 months. And if in 2026 the prices go down again, then I won't have that advantage, but at least I know where I stand each month and it makes budgeting a lot easier. So that's the first thing I've done to try and improve my financial situation. I fixed my energy for 12 months. And the second thing I did was I've applied for ESA, which is Employment Support Allowance. I went along to Citizens Advice Bureau and I thought I would just check in with them to see whether the research I'd done online was accurate and whether they thought I was eligible to apply for ESA. As a self-employed person, I don't get sick pay or holiday pay. So at the moment, I've not got any income coming in. And I thought, well, it's worth applying. They might turn me down. They might say, no, you're not eligible, but it's worth the application. So I went to Citizen Advice, spoke to a really nice volunteer there. And between him and his supervisor, they decided that yes, it was worth applying because I did have a good chance of being accepted for ESA on a contributions base level. But one thing that the supervisor said that sort of shocked me was, he said it depends on what sort of national insurance contributions you've paid. And I thought, well, that's weird because as a self-employed person, I've been paying the national insurance contributions that HMRC have told me to pay to be eligible for whatever benefits you're applying for. Why do they insist that that's the type you pay as a self-employed person? Anyway, it's just bureaucracy, can't stand it. So what I had to do after I'd left Citizens Advice was get in touch with my doctor and get a sick note. You have to supply a sick note as part of your application for employment support allowance. So that was fun because I hadn't been given one when I was initially off work, because as a self-employed person, I've got no one, I haven't got an employer to give it to. So I wasn't offered one. So I had to go to the reception at the doctor's and tell them what I needed, say that I'd come from Citizens Advice, and they said that I needed a sick note for my application. And then I had to fill in an online form linked to the doctor's surgery. And then about half an hour later, they pinged me a text back and said, we need more information. Please fill out this questionnaire. So I basically filled out all the same information again. And then about an hour and a half later, a GP phoned me and said, I've got some questions for you. So we went through all the same stuff for the third time. And he said that he would issue the sick note and I could collect it from reception the next day. So that was fine. I went to collect that the next day. I took a photo of it and uploaded it onto the application form for ESA. The application form was a bit of a rigmarole. It's all done online. and the amount of information you have to put into it is mind-boggling. You know, where your grandma was born, what your inside leg measurement is, they want to know everything. So I filled all that in and sent it back to them, and I got a text message notification saying that they'd received both and they would contact me within 14 days. So I'm still waiting for them to contact me. I don't know when that will be. I think they need to interview you, from what I read on the sort of blurb before the application form, and then they decide yay or nay. Are you eligible? Are you not eligible? And if you are eligible, then, well, I've already provided my bank details, so they'll start paying in, well, I don't know, they tell you how much you get a week, so I don't know whether they pay you weekly or they pay you monthly, but it would be £92 something a week, which is not a huge amount of money. It doesn't cover all my bills and my food and petrol, whatever else I need. However, it's a help, so I'm really hoping that they do agree that I am eligible and that I can get this support while I'm waiting to find out what's going on with my knee and, you know, whether I'm going to need surgery or what. I don't know what the treatment plan will be. Anyway, so that's all in process. Fingers crossed I will be allowed to have ESA and they won't turn me down. If they do turn me down, I will be very peed off because I've paid into the system, you know, since, well, I got my first job when I was 14, which was a weekend job, but, you know, I've been working part-time or full-time all my adult life. So, you know, I've put into the system, it's only fair that I, you know, get something back when I need it. However, I don't think it works like that, so we'll just have to wait, you know. I've done what I can, now it's in their hands. So that's the update so far. I haven't sold anything else on Vinted. I think I need to go back in and change my listings or drop the prices, one or the other, or perhaps both, and see whether I can sort of generate a bit of interest in my items on there. I'm also going to have a hunt around and see whether there are anything else I can list on there. I've got pairs of jeans that I can't fit into anymore, so I could list those. You know, they're in pretty good condition and get a couple of quid for them, but £2 in my bank's better than a pair of jeans I can't wear in my wardrobe. So yeah, that's it. How have your budgeting plans been going? What are we now? We've sort of done a week of September already. Can't believe that. So I will keep you updated with my employment support application and anything I sell on Vinted. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.